Welcome to the Fashionista Life podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson. If you found yourself here, it may mean that you're looking for courage, clarity, or confidence in some part of your life. Or maybe you just want to be entertained, and that's great as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, we welcome into the studio Tina Honsey. Welcome, Tina.
Thank you, Jennifer. So
Now,
excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you back because the last time you were on, we were talking about nutrition. So today, I want to talk about nutrition and fitness and just all around feeling great. Now, I'm just going to let our listeners know. I mean, you're a powerhouse in what you do. So you actually work with a company called ID Life, and what ID Life does is it's personalized nutrition to personalize it towards you because you're not like me and I'm not like you. I'm not like my neighbor. We all have different needs, and they tailor all of their program to you individually. I think that's fabulous. And you're like one of the top people for the last 3 years within their company. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Super grateful. Super
I mean,
grateful.
that's just so you know your stuff. You got it, girl.
We try. And if we don't know the answer, we ask a lot of questions.
And
Yep.
that's how we learn, right?
Yep.
So I want to talk today about how we can get started on our health and fitness journey. I know, like we talked before, how nutrition is kind of like the basement, right? It's your building block. It's what you have to build off of. But if you were to lay out a program for somebody, where would you tell them to start? Where do we go? Do we start with one piece first and then add in another? What do we do?
Yeah.
Help us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Help us,
Absolutely.
Tina. Help us.
Well, everybody is so different. So we start absolutely, we can gather information, figuring out what's the best plays to run. However, we can't take all of those on at the same time. I call this, as we start out, we call it habit stacking. So
Oh,
I figure out kind of the baseline, what are our goals and where are we at? So every person, Jennifer, you talked about it, you're different than your neighbor.
hmm,
What you're choosing to do in your life is different than your neighbors. Many times we start with the base, which is sleep and hydration. And if I was work and as I work with clients, I have them journal, right? We start out with we're trying to get 7 to 8 hours of shut eye. We also are going to try to drink a gallon of water a
oh
day.
gosh. You
Yeah.
just you just got me there.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
my water right now. This is like don't this is like all I get a day. It's terrible.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to have that conversation offline because that is
It's gonna be a
cleaning.
long one.
It's cleaning the inside of your body. So, but my point is that we start with habits and we stack them. Now, if you're like Tina, I can't do a gallon. Okay, let's start with 60, 80 ounces. Let's get there. Then we're going to continue adding. Then we go on to other things, such as how frequently are you eating according to your needs?
Mhm.
What are we putting on our plate? And then some of the final things we look at is how we're moving our body. And if we're in the gym, how are we moving our body? And all of that can be tailored to you. However, once again, it's stacking a habit, getting that down, and then we come back and we add another habit on top of it.
And have you seen that there's a certain period of time it takes to build that habit?
Oh, it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months. And what I find is, as women, we're extremely busy. We
Mhm.
also have a lot of stressors in our life, and those stressors can cause things to fly out of control. Hence, of why the journal is so important. Um, and with journaling, I'm not talking about writing tons of sentences. I'm talking, we may have a chart that, you know what, I get to give myself a check mark today because I drank my
Mhm.
60 ounces or my 80 ounces or my 120 ounces. I give myself a check mark today because I got in my 10,000 steps. I give myself a check mark because I'm eating every couple hours, if that's what you need. But it allows us to actually, first of all, track it as we go. And we're about 80% more accountable when we write something
Mhm.
down. When we have somebody we're reporting it to, it increases by 95%. So think about that, right? So
Right.
we're trying to establish habits. We're holding ourselves accountable. And then what's really fun is after we do that for 2 months, we get to look back at our progress,
Mhm.
at where we were at and where we are today.
And that fuels the next habit, I would imagine, that you're gonna stack because psychologically you look at it and say, "Oh gosh, wow, I did that.
Yes.
I can do it
Yeah.
again, and then
Yes.
just keep doing it.
Yes, and you see it in the gym, right? People will come in and they'll do some elliptical work, they'll do some lifting patterns, and as they do that for a month, 2 months, that workout is going to modify and probably change based
Mhm,
upon as they get stronger cardiovascular, muscles, but also mentally, right?
mhm.
Walking into the gym can be pretty intimidating. So starting with habits that are sustainable and we keep building on is extremely important. Yeah.
So going back to I just wanna talk about water for a second. I know it's really important. Do you have any tips and tricks, like, to drink more water, to add more water to your diet? Because I'm the kind of person that I just don't it tastes like nothing, okay? And I have this diet cranberry pomegranate juice. Everybody knows that that's what I drink, and I put half of that in a glass with a half of water.
Okay.
That's my choice of drink. Does that count as water? Or does
Um,
it not because you're adding something else to it?
Great question. So it is a form of hydration. So the question that I would have is you'd want to flip that label to the back of it. You know how much sugar isn't in it, and does it
3
have
grams.
and does it? That's not bad. That's not bad. Does it have artificial sweeteners in it?
Okay.
Artificial sweeteners and flavorings can cause inflammation in the body,
Oh,
and it causes you to want to crave more sugar.
what would
And
that
so
be? What would one be that we're looking for?
oh, aspartame, sucralose are common ones that are in there. Alcohol sugars will cause bloating in the belly. It can cause a host of GI issues. So you want to flip that label on and take a look at it. But yes, if it's pure sugar that's in there, it's you're actually sometimes many times better off in minimal allotments, right?
Mhm.
Based upon your DNA, we have a number that you're trying to stay within for your sugar allotment. If you're staying within that allotment, you're better off with that than you are an artificial flavoring or sweetener. Yeah.
Wow. I guess the real deal is better than than the fake
Yes,
stuff.
it is. It is. So a couple tips for you. So I said earlier a gallon, and I think your eyeballs almost popped out of your head.
Yeah, kind of. Could you tell? Yeah.
So one of the things we talked about is habit stacking. So one of the things that I love to do, and I took this on last year, is you want to add a habit to an existing habit that you have already cemented. For example, when you get done, there's sometime in the morning, I know that because you just talked to me recently that you were at the dentist.
Mhm.
So I know you're good at brushing your teeth. When you get done brushing your teeth, I have my clients go to the kitchen sink. I want you to fill a glass with 25 to 30 ounces of water. It can be warm, it can be cold, and I want you to drink that right away. One, your body's dehydrated when you wake up in the morning. Your body will say, ah, so nice.
Mhm.
It also gives you a jump start on your hydration for the day. You're probably going to go to the restroom twice before you leave for work,
Mhm.
right? But boom, you already have a jump start on it. The other piece of advice that I have is get a container. Get a container that holds 30 ounces of water, right? Use a straw. The 30 ounces of water I will drink then 3 to 4 more of these as I go out through the day. But I will keep a journal, right? Every time I refill it, hit my slash. I know I have to drink this. The straw itself, many people can drink a lot more water with a straw. Like it goes in
Mhm.
easier. And so that's another tip that we give clients that'll help.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
those are just three quick things on how do you take on more water on a sustainable basis.
I'm gonna work on that.
I know you can do it.
I'm gonna try. I'll try.
Okay.
Is your closet overflowing, or maybe your kids' closets are as well? Or maybe you want to redecorate your home. If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, bring it all to True Fashionistas or even ship it to them for free. And they will sell your unwanted items for you. They take away all the hassle by doing all the work, and all you have to do is collect your money. You can reach out to them online at truefashionistas.com, come into the store, or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and that's truefashionistas.com. All right, friends, we are back with Tina Honsey, and we're talking about nutrition and fitness. Welcome back.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
So, we talked about the things that you should do. What is one of the biggest mistakes that you see people making in their journey to become healthier?
Oh, all
I
or
know there's probably a lot, but
all or nothing. We think that we have to do all the things. Like I'll see so many times, I'm going to draw the line in the sand and tomorrow I'm taking it all on. and they're trying and people are trying to modify all their behaviors throughout the
Mhm.
day, trying to take on 17 new habits, and guess what? After 2 to 3 days, it's an epic fail. And
Right.
so it's biting off way more than you can chew. It really is about taking on 1 to 2 things, cementing it down, then adding from that point forward.
The whole habit stacking thing we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah, extremely important.
And you
For
can do that in any area of your life.
Yes, because 40 to 60%, depending on the research you look at, 40 to 60% of our lives are habits. And our
Sure.
habits form who we are. Your body's a reflection of the habits you keep.
Mhm.
So if you're like, okay, I need to create this as a habit, but we can't take on too much. It has to only be 1 to 2 things. Take that on, cement it, and then add more.
It's easier that way.
Yes, much
Yeah.
easier.
What are 3 small tweaks that we can all make in our everyday life, whether it be diet or exercise, that are going to all add up at some point and we're gonna see a difference?
Set a firm sleep time.
Okay.
And before you go to sleep, you get rid of your phone or computer for an hour before you go to sleep.
Can you
That
watch TV or all screens?
all screens. Get
Okay.
cozy with a book, right? Do some journaling. And the reason why is it's just extra stimulation. And so that's a big one. Big one is set that time and an hour before you go to bed so that you can start to wind down. And every night when you go to bed, you should be going to bed no matter what day of the week it is within the same hour. So if your normal time for bed is 9:30,
Mhm.
if you look at your week in a 7 day, you should be getting in bed between 8:30. I'm sorry, between 9 and 10, because that, right, you want an
Right,
hour
the
shift.
window.
Yep, that window. So that would be one of them. The second one that like, what is a tip would be, I'm just thinking, veggies.
Oh. Eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies. Every time you eat, you should be getting some veggies in. We should be eating at least 5 servings of veggies a day. We don't. That is one thing. We're usually grabbing quick carbohydrates
We
that are
are.
processed, and we're not getting enough fiber. We're not getting the nutrients we need. And that's just and it can be a Ziploc bag, that you've cut up of peppers and peas
Mhm.
and maybe some carrots. But getting that nutrition has volume in it, and fiber to help you just overall. And then number 3, you're gonna love me, Jennifer. Here we are again,
I
hydration,
roll.
right? Yes, hydration. And so your container of water should be your best friend that's always with you. And it's amazing for your
It's
skin.
right here.
Yes,
It's
and
just
it's
is so
so
little.
good for your skin, like, and so it's your body's natural cleansing. So, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it totally makes sense. I get it. I get it up here, but it's hard. I'll
Yes,
work. I'll be better. I'll be
yes,
better.
yes. I know you got this.
All right, so we're gonna do some quick speed round here. How has your industry changed since you started all those years ago?
Oh, I think now more than ever, we're embracing as women that lifting weights is important. Strong is sexy.
Mhm.
Being strong from inside out, having the ability to carry your groceries is important. And women understanding that you will not get bulky if you lift weights. That's huge. I think we've done a lot of education, but we still have a lot of confusion on, we went from low fat to no carb to,
Mhm.
is sugar free great for you? We're still doing a lot of education on that, but we know now that fat is important to us. So that's been huge too. I'd have to say, if what is the biggest things, those would be the biggest.
And I would agree. I remember back in the day where, oh my gosh, I can't go to the weight room. I don't want my legs to look like a football player. I can't do squats with how much weight?
Right? Right?
Yes, and we've all heard that. But you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Ambition or talent, which is more important to success in your opinion?
In my opinion, ambition is more important. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you do not apply it, if you do not share it with anybody, if you don't have the ambition to take it on and make it and share it with others, it does no good. It stays
Mhm.
hidden. So, I'd say ambition.
You know, and I'm thinking about something, we both grew up on family farms, right? And we had that or we have that work ethic from growing up on that small family farm where you just kind of took the proverbial bull by the horns and did anything and everything that you had to do. And you
Yes.
just did it and it carries over to your life as an adult and isn't that amazing?
Yes, Jennifer. What's amazing is we didn't have a choice. I mean,
No.
I live in the great state of Minnesota, still do, right?
Mhm.
And that's where we grew up. And if it was cold out and it's 20 degrees below zero, you still had to put on those clothes and go outside to feed those animals. Because guess what? Even if you didn't feel like it, they still had to be fed. The job
Mm,
still had to be done. And so, yeah, that work ethic and that ability to just do it, it goes back into our history a little bit.
it
Yeah.
sure does. I mean, God, we grew up without screens. All we had was a TV. We didn't have phones. We didn't have internet. I mean, what? It was like our senior year in high school or something, or short, maybe junior, that I think internet was invented. I just,
Yes.
wow, right? Like we
Yes.
made do with none of the things that our children have these days. So we
Yeah.
survived, Tina. We made it.
Okay, now we're 21, so okay, we're done
Okay.
with this
No,
conversation.
I thought I was 35.
Oh, that's
Or
right.
in my 30s. Confusing. What has been your greatest achievement?
Ooh, that one is so loaded because when I
It
think
is.
about life, I think about spiritual, financial, relationships, right? Physical. I'd have to say my greatest achievement would be my adult children right now. I have a 20 and 22-year-old and they're good
But
people.
you're only 20.
I know, right? I had them before I was born. There you go. So, I'd have to say they would be because they're fun to visit with. They want purpose in their lives. They're very grounded in their faith. And so that would I'd have to say I'm still learning as a parent. We're not done yet, but I don't know. I look at those 2 and I'm like, "You know what? They turned out to be pretty cool
Mhm.
right now." So I'd have to say that. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, oh, mine are still teenagers.
Oh, those are fun times.
I know, but they're seniors, so isn't
Oh,
that crazy?
that's
Pretty
fun.
wild. It has been so fun sitting here chatting about nutrition and fitness and where we came from. Really, where we came from. It's been a lot of fun. Now, Tina, if our listeners want to get a hold of you, which I am going to encourage all of them to, because literally it could change your life. You're teaching nutrition and you're teaching fitness, but you're also teaching a mindset. You're teaching something. You're helping them realize that there's a different. You can choose a different path, and it could change your future. How do they get a hold of you?
Yes, they could get a hold of me on my website, www.tinahonsey.com. And Hunsey is Honsey, honey with an S. So it's www.tinahonsey.com.
Awesome. And thank you so much for being my guest today. It was wonderful chatting with you again and learning that I need to drink more water.
You got this, Jennifer. It's been my absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. And hydrate away. Your skin is going to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks, friends, for joining me today and every week here on The Fashionista Life, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive, head to my website, thefashionistalife.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter, where we'll take a deeper dive each week into a new topic. Have a fabulous day.